FeatureFM, Tonedin, which one is better? All right, so for those of you who don't know, Tonedin and FeatureFM, most likely Lead Your Love is referring to their smart link capabilities. That's when, hey, you lead somebody to your page, bam, YouTube, Apple, Amazon Music. Which one do I collect? Spotify. Where do I click over to listen to music? That's what that is. Now, this is how I look at that. Number one, FeatureFM and Tonedin have a lot of capabilities. A lot, right? The only thing that matters, though, for most artists, 99% of the artists out there, 99% of the time is going to be just a simple landing page feature and a pre-save feature. And the pre-save feature isn't even going to matter all that much for the most part because everybody's not going to be running pre-saves every single time they release a track, right? A lot of these features are really irrelevant unless you have a certain level of fan base, unless you're going to really commit to a strategy, not just a small level tactic where, hey, let's use a pre-save this time. Hey, let's try some hyperfollow one time. None of that stuff matters, but I'll get into that. Before I get into that, we use Tonedin in our marketing agency. At Contrabrand Agency, we use Tonedin. So that tells you a lot about how we feel about Tonedin. Both Tonedin and FeatureFM have some free tiers. I never used their smart link, but I did use a lot of the other things in terms of their advertising platform back in the day. SoundCloud, Deezer. I used their advertising platforms a couple of years ago. Haven't used it recently. Tonedin, what we like about it is really the entire user experience, working with the team. It makes it easier for us to read and to share the campaigns and keep track of everything. So look, I'll end it with this. Two things matter. One, the basic feature of actually being able to click over to a landing page. They all have it. Select Spotify, YouTube, etc. And then, yeah, if you want to use a pre-save, but that's rare. Really, it's only one thing, that. And then the other thing is simply the insights. What is your ability to read data? So on Tonedin, I can tell you, we can see how many people viewed the page, how many people clicked through, how many people how many people are converting over to whatever the country is, right? The top countries and also the top cities. Right, that basic information, I haven't really seen too much more detail than that in any of these smart link platforms. It's a pretty competitive space, and everything is pretty simple to achieve technologically. So you don't find huge differentiations, which is why they offer all these other features and hyper follows and ad platform and all these other things, right? So the thing that you need, though, right, is just those things that I mentioned. Now, with that being said, the reason I didn't spend any time going into FeatureFM for this video outside of what I already knew is because I'm focused on what we're using. And I don't say that, I don't even say that like from a cocky way. I say that from a sense of that's what more artists need to do. What are the features that you need? Don't pay attention to the rest of this stuff, right? And don't even spend time trying to get excited about these tools and all these different features that they pop up with, because it's a distraction. As I'm telling you, again, all the hundreds of artists we're working with, the hundreds of $1,000s being spent on our marketing campaigns, most of these campaigns are just using the basic landing page. They all got that feature, right? And again, as a artist that's if it's just you, Tonedin has a free tier. FeatureFM has a free tier. Try them both out for one song to one song. See how you like it. Again, we use Tonedin. But where artists get it messed up is getting focused on these tools and the tactics versus having any kind of strategy. And it don't work like that, man. It does not work like that, because artists will say, oh, I want to do this pre-save campaign and expect the pre-save to be the game breaker for them. It's not the pre-save in itself. It's how do you pair that with your strategy to amplify, right? It doesn't do anything in and of itself. Having a hyper follow and the ability to collect emails doesn't really change the game for you unless you create a strategy around it that uses that function, right? And so there's so many things, right? Facebook, it's the same thing with Facebook ads, influencer campaigns. All of these things are just different tools in the tool shed, but none of them individually will be the game that break you, right? The game that break you. The game breaker. I don't know. I've never said that before. The game that break you. But the truth is, it's the strategy behind it, right? So what are you doing? What is the plan around it? And how are you approaching it? I'll do something deeper in that where I might provide some analogies for you. But just know that it's the tactics are where people get lost, right? I try this tool, this tool, this tool, this tool, versus building out a strategy and finding the tools that fit within that strategy. That's the approach you should be taking. All right. So that's my answer to Leisure Love. And also, when it comes to a lot of these questions about reviews on platforms, for the most part, I'm not going to answer to too many of them because I'm not out here trying to be an expert on the platforms, like who has the better this or that of the same thing. I'm trying to figure out the best tactics to build out certain artists based on their particular strategy, right? And that's what we do. And how do we brand, right? So at the agency, we're not testing and playing with a lot of different tools. We're testing tools within a strategy for an artist to grow, all right? And what makes sense for that particular campaign. Last thing, it's always going to be custom to you, though, at the end of the day.